Okay, this is the third time I have tried to do this, so I'm just going with it, whatever happens now. Today, August 30th, one of my all time favorite authors in the self help movement, Louise Hay, has died at the age of 90. And she's really one of my heroes, um, personally and professionally, and has meant so much to me through her work. I mean, I never met her in person, but I have studied her thoroughly, really, just for the last uh, 3 years, honestly. But I've studied decades of work of hers. And so I want to honor her today by sharing some of her work and some of what I think are her most profound contributions to the self-help movement. For one thing, she was really dubbed as the person who started the self-help movement. And one of the reasons I admire her so much is because she really got going in this aspect of her career of helping other people through counseling and writing and things that I love to do when she was 50 years old, which is the age I am right now. Anyway, so for the past 40 years, she's been helping people. And she started helping people with AIDS back when it was not popular to do so. This is one of the things that I really love about her is she started a group for men in California who were diagnosed with AIDS back when it was not understood well. Everything was very scary around it. And she started this little support group right in her own house for just a handful of gentlemen. And she didn't know she didn't know anything more about AIDS than anybody did, but she started this and taught them to love themselves and love each other and help them through this. And it ended up being a group that served the group grew from like a half a dozen men to like 800 people who were, meaning they had to get an auditorium in Hollywood because they couldn't fit in her house anymore. There were 90 people in her living room, and finally she had to find some other space. But anyway, so part of what I respect about her so much is that she reached out to people who needed help that many people did not understand or didn't know what to do with, and she wasn't afraid. She just gave love. She gave lots and lots of love and really spent the last 40 years teaching people how to love themselves and how that can transform our own lives and the lives of other people and how it can change our world. And that's what she focused on. Anyway, so I just really love and respect her, and I'm so thankful for her. And I use her work all the time to help people also, and to help myself too. So anyway, I'm just grieving her. This is kind of, this is an example of disenfranchised grief, where you guys might think, well, you never met her, what's your problem? But I get it. But I just really loved and respected and appreciated her. So anyway, her main work, I mean, she created lots and lots of products in the 40 years she was in the self-help movement. But her main, if you had one book that really represents the core of her understanding and work, it is this one, You Can Heal Your Life. And the main point of it, I would say, in my understanding anyway, is that, how we think about things can create our world. And so she spent a lot of time teaching people how powerful their thoughts were. As a matter of fact, many, many decades and decades ago, she got cancer. And she explored all the traditional medical options, but ended up curing herself through some of the work that she describes in here. And, visualizations, affirmations, nutrition work, therapy work, all kinds of things, and cleared her body of cancer and lived to be 90, till it lived to be 90, and lived a very healthy, physically healthy life, actually. So anyway, but this is one of her primary works that all the other work was built off of, basically. if you're interested in getting to know her. It's radical. It was very radical at the time, still is a bit. She was radical. She thought of things that, and she believed things that weren't mainstream to believe. But her main belief, besides that our thoughts create our lives, was that love was the answer to everything. Everything. Loving ourselves and loving each other and loving the world and really just giving out love no matter what. And so it's really what I've been attempting to do in my life. Since, really understanding that more. My favorite thing of hers is this book called Heart Thoughts, A Treasury of Inner Wisdom. And it's just little, you can read one a day really easily. I do. Every morning I read one of these, just random. And it just kind of sets the tone for my day and gives me a little devotional and so forth. But anyway, one of my favorites is about love, and that her message was love yourself and love everybody else. And so I want to read it to you in honor of her. So she says, "My love is limitless," and she means us, the reader. Hers was too, I suppose, but my love is limitless is what this one's called, and she says, "One of the bonuses of loving yourself and loving others is that it makes you feel so good," right? So she says, "We have so much love in this world and so much love in our hearts, but sometimes we forget. Sometimes we think there isn't enough and there's just a small amount. So we hoard what we have and we are afraid to let it go. We are afraid to let it out. But those of us who are willing to learn realize that the more love we allow to flow out from us, the more there is within us, and the more we receive. This is endless and timeless. Love is really the most powerful healing force there is. Without love, we could not survive at all. If tiny babies are not given love and affection, they wither and die. Most of us think we can survive without love, but we cannot. Love for ourselves is the power that heals us. So we need to be as loving as we can every day." Louise Hay. She did not have an easy life. She did not. She had a very difficult childhood. I dare you to study about this woman. She had a really difficult childhood. A lot of traumatic things happened to her. And then she left home early because she was a traumatized, abused teenager and went out on her own at like age 15 or something, and went through so much stuff because she didn't know what she was doing. She was so young. And so ran into more problems and so forth, or what we would call problems. But anyway, her life took several interesting twists and turns, and ultimately she turned it all into work to help other people. It made a huge difference, affected millions and millions of people. And then she created a foundation which also helps people like who are starving and who need help that way. So, matter of fact, I just read that her entire estate, which is worth millions and millions of dollars, the proceeds are going to the foundation. It's going to help all these people all over the world who need help, including our own country. And that all the, future royalties from all of her work is also going to that foundation. And so what a legacy. I mean, really, if you ever think in your life that as one person you can't do anything important that makes a difference, think about the Louise Hays of the world who have, and there's many, many others who have. You have your own heroes as well that people in politics and religion and science and health and every genre, psychology, self-help, like Louise. who've helped other people, musicians, artists, everybody, athletes. There's all kinds of them. So don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate yourself. Love yourself and see the potential that you have to make this world a better place, and then go do it. Go do it. This is what Louise challenges us to do, is to love ourselves enough to see our value so we can let that love flow out of us and our gifts and talents and share it and spread it, and the ripple effect will be wonderful. So thank you for tolerating my emotions today, and just for sharing this platform with me. I appreciate those of you who take time out of your day to listen to what I have to say, and I always hope and pray that it's helpful, because I, like Louise Hay, love everybody, and I want what's best for all of us, and for us to work together to make the world the best that it can be. So anyway, all my love to all of you. Mwah. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.